Kat.
Hi, Rachel.
Welcome back to the sofa.
Thanks for having me.
As you recall, or may recall, we had a little discussion about how we felt about remakes.
We did. We didn't really conclude anything other than
No, we
if it
didn't.
was a game that we played as a kid and the nostalgia was there, it was good. If it was anything else, it was a cash grab.
Yes, if we loved it, it was fine.
Yeah.
So what I'd like to do today is go through and pick a game each that we would like remastered, a game that we would like a complete remake for, and a game that we would like a reboot of.
Oh, okay. So I have been thinking about this a bit since our last conversation, but let's just make sure we get our definitions right first. What are you considering to be reboot and master, and what's
okay?
Different?
So the remaster, the least invasive. So the game's given a fresh lick of paint. So basically, an HD upgrade, make it a bit prettier than it once was. Remake is built from the ground up, should be similar to the old game, but improved to make it for a more modern audience. And then a reboot is where you take an old game or an old franchise and completely restart it fresh. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I'll take that as those definitions. Where should we begin?
Excellent. Okay, so let's go for remaster. I will go first, and this should probably come as absolutely no surprise to you or anybody who knows me, because I have gone for Dragon Age Origins.
No.
What? I hear you say? Yes, I have. And I have no shame in it, because these are the choices that I would selfishly make. I am BioWare trash. It's one of, if not my favourite game. We learnt that using science. And I would love to see this game with improved visuals. I mean, it's very much playable now and it's fine, but it's got that kind of Xbox 360 era, and everything is a little bit sepia.
Slightly chunky vibes of it. Everyone's got the same colour palette.
Yeah, exactly. So if they could give that a tweak and make that look pretty, and oh my God, this is what I was most excited for. So if they could make the character creator actually good in that game, I would be so happy, because it's so difficult to make. I played that intro sequence as the human noble for so many times. I played it so many times to try and get the perfect face, and then you see it in this one cutscene and I'm like, nope, restart. If they could make an actual decent character creator, improve those visuals, oh my God, I'd be so happy. I mean, it came out in 2009, so it's not really that old, but I would play the crap out of it. I would absolutely love a remaster of that game. What would your choice be?
Oh, okay. So had a good hard think about this one. And it's a game that everyone has kind of said it should be remastered. And I know some people have actually tried to remaster it themselves. So I'm going for Morrowind.
Ooh, okay. Why would that be?
So I got into the Elder Scrolls series quite late. I think Skyrim had already been out a few years before I played it for the first time, and then obviously it got re-released, and I have bought it on different consoles. Did go back to my 360 and did play Oblivion, but I didn't make the jump quite far back to Morrowind. And I've heard it's very good. I am one of those losers that has read lore and a lot of information about the religions and things like that.
Law does not make you a loser.
It's no, I didn't say that, but hey, that's how I spend my evenings. It's a world I want to go to, and so many times I was like, oh no, I won't bother to play Morrowind because I'll wait for the remaster to come out, because they were doing the Skywind version, and there was so many rumors of it happening. It never happened. So get one in my hands. Bring it from 2002 to even if it's 2022, I don't care. We are ready, because I think Skyrim brought so many new people to the franchise and made Elder Scrolls that extra leap. I know Oblivion did do well, but Skyrim brought in so many people that didn't know the series before. And with the mistakes or perhaps bad decisions that Bethesda have made recently, I think just going for that remaster now, rather than just re-releasing Skyrim, actually bringing up, with the less wooden faces and kind of bringing the Morrowind world out again, I think it would go down okay. I don't think people would be too annoyed at Bethesda for that.
Bethesda need a win, so that may well be the way they get it. Do you think if it's from 2002 and it's an RPG, a big, I say big, an open world game, do you think a remaster will be good enough for that? Do you think the controls might still be a bit clunky, or?
Oh goodness! I mean, it was really tough for me deciding between the remake and remaster for this.
Okay.
So I don't
Fair
know.
enough. Fair
I mean,
enough.
but you know what? I do
Look,
want to
we're
know
being
the
selfish.
story.
It's what we would pick. So
Yeah, I
go
do.
for it.
I do want to know what happens in the story. I do want to play it.
Mm.
I do want to play remaster, and I haven't played the original because I've been waiting for a remaster. So that's my logic there. Make it Morrowind, please. Make it happen.
Come on, Bethesda.
Todd, listen to me.
Okay, so my remake choice. Did I mention that I was BioWare trash?
Yeah, it maybe came up in conversation like 5 seconds ago.
So my pick for remake would be Knights of the Old Republic 1. Have you heard of Knights of the Old Republic or KOTOR?
I have. I have heard you mention
Oh my
that just
goodness.
occasionally.
Oh my goodness. I love that game. I would go so far as to say that it's the best Star Wars story out there, including all the films and the expanded
Wow,
universe. The story is
strong.
so good. And oh my goodness, I think you have to play it to experience it. And I think it came out in something like 2003. So if you weren't that age, you might not have gone back and played it because again, the visuals are fine for me. I can still play it now, but the controls are a little bit clunky. Again, I can get through it, but some people might not. And I would love that game, you know, looking pretty, having better lightsaber fights and stuff, you know, just making everything better than it was, but keep the story the same. That would be really key for me. The story has to remain the same. Like it can add in more backstory to similar to what Final Fantasy VII did, add more backstory for all the characters and stuff like that would be fine, but the core story would have to be the same. And oh my goodness, Revan is a baller and the cast of characters are phenomenal, and to see Bastila again in lovely looking visuals would just be incredible for me. So 100% my remake choice would be KOTOR, the first one.
The first one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so for my remake, I have been cheeky. So given how much bigger games are nowadays, we tend to find that a lot of older games get kind of bundled together. So you think of the Spyro, you think of the Crash, you think of the upcoming Tony Hawk 1 and 2. So I have gone for a 1 and 2-parter. Again, I'm actually going for games I never played but want to play. So in the same way I came late to Skyrim, I came late to the Witcher series, and my first introduction to Geralt was in 3. So I'm being selfish, and I said, for my remake, I want The Witcher 1 and 2. Both of them, please, make that happen.
In a bundle.
So, yeah, because as well, you can almost see this. I'm aware vaguely of the plot and how it would run on together quite nicely. The games themselves, I have read about how just the controls are horrible, the combat is clunky, the camera's bad, the map's bad, and you know all those little improvements from sticking on a new engine and things like this, and to make them look as good as The Witcher 3 is.
Yep.
And again, I know CG Projekt Red are kind of the golden boys at the moment in the industry and can't do no wrong. And
they are precious.
They
and
are.
We must protect them at all costs.
Don't let EA buy them.
No.
So they don't need to do this, but it's almost as a service to everyone that's come to The Witcher later. And again, I'm selfish. I want to play the first ones because I am not cool enough to have played them when it was uncool. And I think that it would be incredibly popular again if they were remade.
I think that's a great idea, especially because obviously the Netflix series is really taken off.
Oh God,
so
yeah.
The books have been bestsellers
animated series,
recently. Yeah. So it's really big at the minute. So if they were to do that, that would be great. I mean, I played the Witcher 2 on 360, and again, I think that probably stands up, but 1 certainly does not. So for a nice, lovely looking bundle, I think that would really be a thing that would sell well, I think, at the minute, because the Witcher is hype at the moment. So yeah, I'm with you on that one.
Train.
Ride that hype train, indeed.
Listen to me, CD Projekt Red.
Right, on to the reboot. So this was the one I struggled with the most because this is shockingly not a BioWare game.
What?
Either of my choices. So I was really torn. So initially I thought Splinter Cell, because we haven't had a game since 2013, and I think the series really hit its peak with Chaos Theory, which is one of the earlier games. So I thought, oh, okay, we'll do a reboot of that. But then I thought to myself, how do we want Sam Fisher back? Only if Michael Ironside is there? Do we want a new character? And I really, really could not decide what I wanted. So I would love it, but I don't know what I want. So I'm going to go for Time Splitters. Now, Time
Ah,
Splitters, yeah, was made by the guys. Did you ever play GoldenEye or Perfect Dark?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so the teams that worked on them, but it was funny and it was cartoony. And I was a kid and I played it at my friend's house. Time Splitters 2, I played it at my friend's house. I knew a couple of levels, and I really, really loved it. But obviously, at that time, you're kind of at the mercy of your parents and what games
Of
they will
pocket
buy. So
money and Christmas
yeah,
presents.
exactly.
Yeah.
So I never actually got to play it myself, and you can't really play it anywhere. I think if you buy
No.
Homefront Revolution, you can, in one of the levels, there's a hidden sort of Easter egg, and you can play the first 2 levels of Time Splitters. But that's the only place you can play it nowadays. It's really, really difficult to play. So I would love a reboot of that, and to make sort of bring that franchise back, because I think there were a series of games in it, and they all reviewed really well. So I would love a reboot of that, so I could play it in its entirety and not have to play a few levels at my friend's house.
And then for me, for completely kicking off a franchise again, I was thinking about what I played and what I enjoyed as a kid. Now, actually thinking about that, I have been completely spoilt recently. So we had the Streets of Rage 4 came out. Streets of Rage 2 was a huge part of my childhood. We've got the Tony Hawk's Remaster remake is coming out. So that's a bit different. That's not a reboot. I still would like that, but at least I'm getting something. Spyro has had too many chances to reinvent himself, and they have just ruined that character. Probably the same as Sonic, actually. No, Sonic Mania was good. I'll take that back on Sonic, but my boy Spyro has just been broken a little bit. And again, we did get the remake, so to reboot him probably wouldn't be right. But something we've not seen a lot in a long while, or very limited quantities, is a snowboarding genre. So sticking with extreme sports like Tony Hawk, we did have Steep recently from
Yeah, I
Ubisoft,
was gonna
which
say
was a
Steve.
lot of fun, but it didn't know whether to take itself too seriously or whether it was a joke, and it kind of just got the vibe slightly wrong. But when
Mm-hmm.
it comes to snowboarding games, for me, there's one at the top of the tree. I have mentioned it. It's SSX3, and to see a proper comeback from the SSX guys with that kind of mindset, with that kind of it's all ridiculous mentality, get it out. Can't wait. Would absolutely love to see a new imagining of SSX. And Steep nearly got there, but I don't know, it did just miss the mark a little bit for me. But just to get that completely over the top ridiculous with a kicking soundtrack, extreme sports. Oh yeah, I really would just love to see a complete return of the SSX series. So my three are a mix of games. So there's 2 games, Morrowind and Witcher 1 and 2, that I did not play because I kind of came to the party too late, and then SSX because I want to share my joy about this with other people, but you know what, just start again and make more.
That is very nice of you, to be honest. I chose mine because I am pure BioWare trash. That's who I am, and I'm not
That's you.
ashamed of it.
Oh,
So, Kat, we will have to wait and see whether the publishers have listened to us and they
there
are going
should
to give
be.
us. I mean, EA partially listened to me because apparently there is a Mass Effect remaster on the way, which I am so excited about. But the others have just got to follow suit and make sure that our demands are met, and then we'll be happy.
Meet our demands. Listening. You hope you're listening, Todd.
Yeah, Todd. So yeah, well, thank you very much for giving me your opinions on this matter.
If you want to know more about the games we've loved, me and Rachel have both played using science, finding out what our favourite games are. So you can find those below. But until then, see you next time. Bye.
Bye.